Testing. Oh, it works.
Make sure it's on.
So, apologize for the delay, everyone, but here they are. So, my name is Stephen Christina. I'm part of the Super Retro Quebec Reviews podcast. I'm one of the co-moderators. Matthew Fisher from the Shock Treatment podcast is also one of the co-moderators. Let's go down the line. A. Michael Baldwin. Pasquarelli. Cat Lester. Bill Thornberry. And Reggie Bannister.
That would be me.
So we both will have questions, so what we'll do is go back and forth. Okay. All right. So when filming the bad dream sequence, did you think the scene would be remembered as an iconic scene in Horror-Don? The bed.
No. You want to elaborate?
Yeah, the bed dream sequence.
You're talking about when young Michael awakes at the end. I was always concerned it might be a weakness in the movie, and I can remember seeing the film for the very first time, one of the very first times, in New York City at the Low State with Angus. And we got up at the end of the movie because we thought we wanted to go see the movie with a real paying audience. I don't know if this is, can you hear me back there? Okay. So we wanted to watch it with a paying audience, and Angus and I wanted to get out of there at the end of the screening, so we started to leave just before that moment when he wakes up. And as he awakened, a lot of naysayer types in the audience went, ugh, like it's a dream, you know, and I'm going, oh God. So I'm sitting there. But the cool part about it is that Reggie's performance and Michael's performance and the music was so awesome that it really caught the audience. And there were actually a few of those naysayers got up and were starting to leave. We were standing in the wings there in the darkness, and Angus in tall man voice went, stay. And the people just stopped, turned around, and watched the ending of the movie. So,
You talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
I read that the sphere, I think, was the only thing that you ever had a nightmare about and worked into a movie. Was that true?
yeah, that's true. I had a dream when I was 15 years old, and it stuck with me, and for some reason I decided to take a left turn into science fiction while writing the script, and I threw that in, and evidently it stuck, so to speak, and people liked it, but yes.
Do you remember the dream? Was it just like an image of the ball, or did it like kill somebody?
It was like a chrome sphere in a long corridor. It wasn't really a mausoleum being chased. You know, the ball was not as technically as sophisticated as in the movie. You know, there was no drill and any of that. But I just remembered it pursuing. I remember it was an intense dream that stuck with me. And I've never really used anything from a dream other than that. So I figure if I'm going to use one dream, that was the one to use.
What was your favorite on-set memory filming Phantasm?
Okay, I'm going to have to throw this to the other actors because I don't want this to be a solo interview. So Michael, let's start with you.
This is for everyone.
On-set memory?
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
Of any, well, of the original?
Yes.
So for me, you know, the thing is that I was 13 years old when we started making this film, and so imagine your own 13th year and I mean, you know, all things being equal, what were you doing in that year, and what fun and exciting thing were you doing? This was what it was for me. I was just in this movie, and I had already been a professional actor, and I was, you know, firing guns, riding a motorcycle, drinking beer, and driving the CUDA with my college-age friends, basically. So every day was pretty much a blast. And it's very difficult to pick up a single moment, to be honest.
Well, Mike, you were so memorable. This is my most memorable, but not my favorite.
Lay it on me, sister.
Yeah, right. Mike he just had it in for me from the moment we met.
That's not true.
Well, wait, you were 13, so that's the way 13-year-olds, they show their infection.
Their infection.
Affection and infection. They try and irritate the person that they have affection for, I
I think
guess.
that's probably accurate. That's
I
probably
think so. So we were doing the scene, where was that again?
Which?
The scene by the big white house.
The Dunsmuir
The
Mansion in Oakland.
Dunsmuir, sorry, yeah. Jet lag. I'll use that as an excuse, not blonde hair. Anyway, so we were filming the scene where it must have been less than 30 degrees, and everybody was wearing parkas and scarves. It was really cold, and Don says, okay, I want you to lay on that wet grass. And you need to look really limp, you need to look like you're dead. And he goes, just lay there, and all of a sudden, they turn on this fan, and the fan is one of those that you use in an airport hangar to get the fumes out. I mean, it was gigantic. So now take 30 degrees and what was it? It was like, it felt like it was below 19. Yes. And so that was miserable enough. And
What happened then?
yeah.
Oh,
So then
Michael happened then.
the wind machine is blowing, and all of a sudden I'm feeling rocks and twigs and all kinds of crap on me. And I found out that wonderful Michael was throwing all of that. and Don is like, Kat, would you just relax, please? You're too stiff. Oh. So I couldn't wait to get after him after that scene. It was quite memorable.
Just fucking with you a little bit.
Naughty
It's a big
boy.
deal.
Yes,
Seemed reasonably funny at the time.
it was. No, it is now. It was not then.
Yeah, sorry. You just say I'm sorry about that.
No.
I have a lot of memorable moments. I think the one that stands out the most is involving the one of us that isn't here, but in spirit. And, over the course of shooting the movie, starting out, I knew Angus as Rory Guy. And Rory Guy became the tall man to me, honest to God, in that mausoleum scene when we went in. And Jody's strolling around through there, looking around, waiting for the funeral to begin. And I kind of turned around the corner, and Don had a close-up on me standing there. And then that hand came on my shoulder. And you know what happened? I mean, I should have been wearing brown pants. Because, you know what? I mean, it was like I totally got it in the moment, and it freaked me out. It was the first time I really felt sort of like totally in an acting moment, or where I wasn't acting. I was just absolutely like in shock. And when I stepped away, and reacted to it, it was very honest. I thought, I just met the tall man. He wasn't Rory anymore. He was the tall man, and that's the one that does it for me.
Yeah, I gotta say that all those moments were awesome. And it's kind of hard to pick a moment when you've made, 5 films. And, you make 5 films because they're all awesome. The first one was great, the second one, blah, 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 just keep going. And just that we were able to do that is amazing to me. But, I gotta say, when the one scene that kind of sticks out in my head is when I was in that room where the poles were, and there was all the, barrels and stuff. The barrel room, I'll just call it the barrel room. And I go up, and I don't know why. This was just Reggie doing it. and I wanted to touch the poles. And then, of course, I became the center of the poles at that point. And, man, you know, they had a wire attached to my back. And, and there was like two big guys standing up on, I don't know, 3-4 feet of a shelf of some kind. And they had wires, and they were both attached to me. And so it was like, you know, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah! Yeah. And I just, well, you saw it. I went flying through the air. And they had like a mattress kind of a thing behind me. And I really did just fly up and land flat on my back. Fortunately, I was okay. I didn't get hurt in that one.
Always doing our own stunts.
Yeah, these actors risked life and limb to make Phantasm for your entertainment. A couple moments I'd like to mention. And the other thing we have to credit these actors is bringing our wonky special effects to life. Now, Michael and Bill fighting their way down the stairs with that bug inside the jacket.
Yeah.
Awesome work, acting work on their part. Now Jody was fighting with I think it was a rubber dwarf on his back in the down in the basement. And right, we had to have him shoot like that. And the first time we shot, he didn't quite have it right, and that you could hear the hammer goes click, but it didn't hit the thing. It actually wedged in the web of his finger. And you heard this yow! But he got right back on the horse and finished that shot and risked his life, shot a blank charge right next to his head. Michael Baldwin, again with a blank charge. Our co-producer, Paul Pepperman, made an error. Well, you could tell him what happened there.
No, it's just one of these deals where, you know, Mike's escaping the bedroom, he's got the hammer, he makes the hammer rig with the shotgun shell, and it's a rig with a wire that goes down your clothes, and then the guy stands off and he's ready to press. As soon as the hammer hits the door, then he presses the button and the thing explodes, right? It's just a gag. So I'm standing there waiting for it to happen, and Paul Pepperman is giving me these great instructions. Okay, it's perfectly safe, it's gonna do this and this and this, and right at the moment I'll press the button. I was okay, fine. So I'm standing there waiting, and I'm just standing there, and the thing just explodes. I'm just like, ah! Paul Pepperman.
And thank God it wasn't aimed at your face.
Yeah, so you know.
I'll tell you the one.
One take is all I got.
Yeah, the stunt that really, you know, I thought was far out was when I had to be thrown in the trunk of the car, you know, and
That was in Phantasm Part 4,
I
Oblivion.
think, yeah.
Bob Ivy.
Yeah, Bob Ivy. He was playing the demon
Cop.
Yeah, and oh God, was he scary? And so he picks me up and he throws me into the trunk of the car. And what I had to do for the gag was there was a little mini tramp. It was about, I don't know, this big, like that. And I had to run about 15 feet, jump, hit the tramp, get as high as I could, and make the trunk of the car. Go ahead, Reg, do that. I kind of had to roll in midair. Yeah, I'm sorry. And so when you look at it, it looks great, you know? And I didn't really hurt myself, guys. I'm okay.
What was everybody's first reaction of the film? You guys think you would be here 40 years later, still celebrating it?
Well, I'll start. We had a sneak preview of the movie at the Pacific Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm not sure if any of the actors were at that one because we were trying to sell it for distributors that time. Very first screening the movie anywhere. And I was sitting with Paul Pepperman, the co-producer of the movie, and as everybody can attest, a very loyal and long-suffering, hard-working part of our team, and watching the movie, and it's going great. Comes to that scene Bill mentioned, you know, boom, the funeral's about to begin, sir, and everybody shot out of their seats, and we're thinking, oh, baby, that's money. The distributors are here on the screen. It's just great. And then down in the front section to the right, there was some, I don't know, woman on something, drunk, and she started to laugh at everything, and we didn't know what to do. That was our real horror moment, because do you go down and all these distributors are in the audience, and do you want to interrupt the screening and pull this woman out or whatever? I don't know. And she just kept cackling until the sphere scene, and then that the sphere scene was so weird, I guess it freaked her out and she shut up for the rest of the screen. So that was my
works.
first recollection. How about yours, Michael?
I forgot the question. What was the question?
First screening.
First screening, first time seeing it.
The first time I saw Phantasm, I think it was in Westwood, at a paid screening with a live audience, much like this one.
On
And I
Halloween.
remember, I thought that we were making a serious Shakespearean drama. I was supposed to be a dramatic actor, and people were laughing, and there was jokes and stuff. And I remember sitting there being a little bit insulted, just like, what? They're laughing. I don't get it. What's the joke? This is a serious drama. There's nothing funny going on, And I sort of remember being a little bit perturbed by that. So it took me, a couple of weeks to realize, there may be some humor in it that I was not aware of.
Yeah, I was at that screening,
Were you?
and I had a completely wonderful, experience, because the audience, it was packed in Westwood. It was on Halloween,
Yeah,
October
right.
the 31st that night,
Wow.
and man, the audience was just totally into it the whole time. I was in disguise, had a baseball cap and sunglasses, because I was afraid
Nobody would
if I sucked
recognize
really
you.
bad, I was going to really sneak out, but it was a great, just feeling to see the film embrace the way it was to me that night, and I had a lot of confidence from thereafter. So, yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, my first experience, first screening. Well, I went to the first screening with my mother, and and I believe Don and Paul Pepperman were sitting behind us, and here comes the first shot, and it's, oh Tommy, and all of a sudden I see these breasts, and the screen is 20 feet high by 20 wide, and I just had to scream, they're not mine! And my mother turns to me and she says, oh Kat, you should have done that scene, yours are much better. Well, yeah, the thing is that originally we were supposed to do this scene, it's supposed to be a closed set. Don promised it would be. I got the call to come out. We were shooting, where was it? Way out in the valley.
It was outside.
Outside, yeah. And so they called me out for the scene. I opened the door, and somehow all these guys from the closest university had found out about the filming, and I hear, bring out the bimbo. They're drinking beers, and I said, Don, I'm not doing this show. This is supposed to be a closed set. And he says, well, is it all right if we get a body double and we just kind of shoot around the scene? I said, sure. I was 19, I wasn't thinking about the details. So nevertheless, I go to the screening and surprise! Bring out the bimbo.
A little trivia, I was actually in that scene because for some reason.
Oh,
remember-
no.
No, I was. I mean,
I know you were.
the character was Tommy, and we had developed kind of just a trusting kind of friendship and everything, and she asked me would I be Tommy in the shot. So in that scene, those shoes are my feet. I'm just wearing Tommy's shoes, so I got to enjoy that shot.
No, wait,
actually.
well,
That scene, right?
Well, what's funny
I have
about
to explain that scene,
Go,
though,
go,
because
go.
at first, Don had me sitting on an apple crate, and he goes, I want you to act like you're having the best sex of your life. And I'm sitting on the crate, and Don's coming in for the close-up, and every time he got closer and closer, I started laughing. I just couldn't take it. Sitting on an apple crate, oh, Tommy. So, yeah, so here's the prop.
yeah, what's
Big apple crate.
yeah. What's funny about that is I had a really good friend I played music with. His name is Bill Cohn, and he's a psychologist now. Anyway, I just like to throw that in because he always wanted to do a horror film, and he told me that when we were getting ready to make the film, and he said, "I've always wanted to die in a horror film." And so I said, well, let me see if I can arrange that. And so I talked to Don, and Don knew Bill. And yeah, we had Bill and I were really great together. We played a lot in Long Beach and stuff, Seal Beach, so I told Bill, hey, you're going to be in the picture, and we're going to kill you. And he was jazzed. He was totally freaked out about it. And so, we really had a lot of fun with that shot, didn't we, Don?
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite line from the movie? Out of the whole hour and 30 minutes of the movie, what is your favorite line from the first Phantasm?
I'll go first. I don't mind. And especially now, the time we're living in now, I won't mention any names or anything, but what the hell is going on? I think you know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's rough. Shoot. Help me out here.
Warning shots.
Oh, warning shots are bullshit. Shoot to kill or you don't shoot at all. You listening to me, man?
I love that.
Mine? Just my favorite or what? Oh, Tom. No, it's not a Tom. Well, since I'm a part of it, let's see if I can do it. Boy.
That was good.
I tried.
Yeah. Well, she does get tall later,
Yeah.
right?
You play a good game, boy.
I hate this kind of exercise. I don't know what my favorite line is, but I know what my least favorite line is. Of all Phantasm and all Phantasm films, is from Phantasm fucking 3. And at the time,
Remember fucking 3?
At the time,
Okay.
you
Just
know,
wanted to check.
I normally can catch some dialogue coming my way that's not working for me, and I'll just change it, or I'll talk to the director and say, hey, can we just check? But I was in this sarcophagus and surrounded by actual corpses, real ones in this mausoleum, and it smelled like dead, rotting flesh, and there was gunshots, and there was, it was crazy. It was, like Compton or something. And the line it's horrible. It is an embarrassment to this day. But I think that I'm inside this crypt or something, and the tall man is talking to me or saying something, and I have to say, I don't know what you mean! So I admit it's an inconsequential line. It's not very important to anybody, except for me. But it's the most hideous thing I've ever heard in my life. So I wrote this thing on its head a little
Is
bit.
that how you said it?
That's exactly how I said it. It's hideous.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah.
So, we're gonna open up audience questions, so if anyone wants to ask any
In
questions.
the back there.
You with the ball on your head.
You guys, thanks for coming out.
Hey, thank you.
There you go.
Hey, I just want to say, Don, I know you collected the majority of the props and stuff from the movie. For the movie, you collected most of the props, kept them.
I have a few.
So did you keep the beer can beer that Angus caught and crumbled and threw on the floor?
Oh, yeah, I do have that.
That would be so sick if you had it here. Just
Yeah.
bring that out, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming with the ball on your head. That's really die hard, man.
That's
Anyone
Doug,
else
by
have
the
any
way, back there.
questions for these guys?
Really?
Chris.
Hello. Hello. Thank
Hello.
You for,
Hello.
thank you guys for coming very much. It's a great pleasure to meet you. My question is, are any of you, more specifically Mike and Dawn, are you familiar with the theory of evil Mike? That in the
Maybe you better enlighten us a little bit.
I believe it was in Avery's script that he wanted to have a scene between the two mics.
Okay, what he's referring to was to my everlasting regret, I allowed another actor to step into Michael Baldwin's shoes. Okay, that's what he's talking about. Yes. And one way, partially righted by bringing him right back into Phantasm 3 when we had the opportunity, and he rocked the wall. But still stinging from having made that error and being party to it. Worked with a terrific writer named Roger Avery, who won an Oscar with Quentin Tarantino for co-writing Pulp Fiction.
Wow.
And it's called Phantasm. He wanted to write the best kick-ass, balls-to-the-wall Phantasm sequel after he won the Oscar. This is what he wanted to make. So he wrote this screenplay called Phantasm 1999. That'll give you an idea about when he wrote it. I think it was 1997. And the script was terrific, but one of the cool parts that he put in there to sort of right the wrong was Michael Baldwin is trapped in the mausoleum, running through it, comes around a corner, and there's James LeGros as as Mike, running in the other direction, and they're both dressed the same. They look at each other, and one says, "You," and the other one goes, "You," and then they run off in their different directions, and that was his way of trying to solve the weirdness we had with two actors in the role.
In my opinion, I say you make him evil and you have Mike destroy him.
Make it work.
Okay.
There could be
Anyone else have any questions for
Right here.
those guys?
Up front.
Other than, hello?
Yeah.
Other than what Don kept from the movie, because it's his films, did any of you take anything from the set and still keep it today?
Well, I still have the suit, the three-piece suit that I wore.
Oh.
I can't fit into it, man.
And I don't have my lavender dress anymore.
No, I have it.
Oh!
Yeah, I wear it to certain parties.
Oh!
But I still have the most important props.
Oh!
Oh, yeah, baby.
Do you really have that dress?
No more.
No, Reggie.
Oh, Reggie.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear it tonight for cocktails, so join us. Will you? Love to see you.
I gotta see that.
Drag queen fan.
Okay, maybe a Phantasm trivia contest. Is that
There we go. Yeah, now we're
We got one
talking.
special thing we want to
okay.
do.
We want to honor Angus with a group boy. We're gonna have everybody do it nice and loud.
Okay, who's gonna do the, Reggie, you wanna do the countdown?
Yeah, sure. From 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, Don, you have.
We have a couple little giveaways. We're gonna do a Phantasm trivia contest. I'll start with one, and you guys come up with some other questions, all
Actually,
right?
we have, I have a question, he has a question, you have the last one.
That sounds good, okay. So my question is, and nobody's shouting out.
Wait. What are the rules of the trivia game?
Yeah, what are the rules?
Oh, okay. Okay. The winner gets a Phantasm Ravager DVD with all kinds of great bonus features.
The
There we
winner
go.
of a given
Speech on.
question, like question 1 wins this? Or
Right.
a winner the person that answers the most questions wins everything? How does it work?
Don't complicate things. You can see how difficult this directing gig is.
Rules!
Oh my God, I know.
Okay, the rules are that answer the question to my satisfaction and you win. How's that?
All right.
But you guys can do another
All
question.
right.
Okay, don't shout it out now. Show of hands. Who knows the title to the song sung by Reggie and Bill Thornberry in Phantasm? Okay, Kat, you pick somebody. Pick a hand.
Over there.
Sitting here at midnight.
Great, that's part one of the question. Now stand up. And I need you to sing the first 2 bars. Let's go.
All right.
Here we go. Come on, baby, you got it.
Come on.
Jax!
Stand up, Jax.
Come on. I'm
Got it sitting
here
here
at
at midnight.
do 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 do.
How long?
I'm on the spot and I can't remember it.
What comes after midnight when the sun comes up?
They'll be sitting here until noon.
Yeah. All right, Congratulations. Well done.
All right, dude.
Okay, what's the next one? Okay, this is for a Phantasm 5 mini poster.
I gave my question to him, so the person that came up with the second question isn't here, so this one's mine. Who designed the sphere?
Nobody knows.
There's a hand back there.
Oh,
Back there.
Let me bring the mic down.
Yeah.
I can just shout it.
Yeah, you're running, dude.
Willard Green.
We have a winner. Come on down. Congratulations.
Right on, man.
So this person who has the second question isn't here, so I'm gonna have you come up with the second.
I got it right here. Here it is.
Michael's got it.
As the final question in the 2019 Phantasm Trivia Challenge.
For a Phantasm 1 mini poster.
Phantasm mini poster. Two-part question. These other questions have been fairly simple and easy.
all right.
So we're going to challenge folks now. Two-part question. Part one. What is the name of the maid
Oh,
Housekeeper.
Oh, yeah.
of the housekeeper, thank you, who works for Bill at Bill and Mike's house,
yeah, Jody and Mike's house.
at Jody and Mike's house? What's her name?
Oh, we got a hand back there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Myrtle is correct.
Myrtle.
Part one.
Hey, Myrtle.
All right.
All right.
That's good. Now,
What's the second part?
yes, part two. Part two is, what happened to Myrtle?
Good question.
And speculation is allowed.
Yes, speculation is allowed. It could be subjective to some extent. Yes, sir.
She was blown up in the house.
Oh! That is correct!
Oh my God.
Poor Myrtle.
So, wait a second. But it's a two-part question answered by two different people. I told you the rules were important.
We'll rip it in half.
Part three. So now someone else will answer. How do you-
Only those two.
Okay, it's a tie-off. So you two people stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up. And in the back, who said Myrtle in the back?
There she is.
Will you stand up, please?
Ouch! I might just give it to her for that insult.
After all these years.
All right, so what's part
Oh, I
three?
don't know. Bill, you got a
Oh,
question?
no. What was her one line in the movie? I know because I was the voice.
What
for
was her
some
one line?
strange reason.
Oh.
You don't even remember